Why I quit boxing. So from the time that I've recorded this is probably different to the time that I upload this. I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I actually was sick. Like I remember training on Monday and then I had work on Tuesday till 5 and I got like sick. Like I probably couldn't do the cardio and then had basically a week off because I was still stuffy. Then I think by Friday, Friday last week, yeah, Friday last week, I actually went to my coach, went back to the boxing gym and told him and let him know that I've quit boxing for now. It sort of was hard to actually have that. It was a brief conversation, but for myself to bring myself in person to my coach because obviously I have the phone number of my coach. Like the easier thing was flick a message, don't have to think about it ever again. But it sort of went against my principles of he took me in as a student of his, and sort of like a sign of disrespect to just bail like with a text rather than going in person, like seeing eye to eye, and just it was good about it because he actually fist bumped me. He was like, "Oh, I was gonna text you. I didn't. I thought you were like out. I thought you weren't okay." But I decided to quit. Now, this sort of stemmed from a Hamza video. He mentioned about life setup. I think it's in his other YouTube channel, Hamza Unfiltered. It's about life setup. And he was briefly discussing essentialism. It's probably a book that I have to read. I can't remember the author's name, but the concept of essentialism is deciding what is essential, saying no to a lot of things, and then dedicating focus and energy to the things that are most essential to your life work or life purpose or for the moment in time. And reflecting upon myself, most things, like I compared it to like generating wealth. The desire to train was less than what was needed of me to train. So essentially, like boxing is like one of the hardest cardio-based sports, I believe, having only played AFL, the Australian Football League, and then having gone like 5 years without doing an actual sport, doing like calisthenics, like push-ups, squats, going to the gym, then going straight to boxing. It was hard. Like for 3 months, I consistently went 4 days a week, almost every day, boxing, doing cardio, running, doing bag work, pad work, working on technique, working on endurance, all of that. But then after being sick for a week, it got me to reflect, like, there were no thoughts of me wanting to go back to boxing. There was no intrinsic desire. Because in terms of boxing, the reason why I turned up 4 days a week, almost every day, because I thought that was what was asked of me, what was needed of me. Because I thought that is what's agreed upon. That I train if I wanted to box. And I thought I wanted to have a match. I thought I would have my first match and then that's it. I thought it'd be there for like another couple of months until my first fight. But I just realized I had no real burning desire to train. I compare it to like building wealth. That's a burning desire. Even in the days where I feel unproductive, where I feel like I'm in a slump or I just can't get the work done, I still try and get the work done. Even a little bit of work is better than nothing. I still don't give up on the idea of generating wealth, but with boxing, it felt really easy. Like, I was listening to Naval Ravikant, the Almanac of Naval Ravikant, and he said in that book, I think, you want to do things that you like, not rather what you should do, that you get to do, what you choose to do. And with boxing, most people in the self-improvement space do advocate discipline. I do advocate discipline. But I advocate discipline for something you genuinely desire. And for myself, I realized my desire to box wasn't there, or it wasn't really there. It wasn't like a burning desire. Like I'm telling you, while I was sick, I was glad that I wasn't training. Like in saying that, I still enjoyed when I did train, but it felt like sort of like an obstacle or a hurdle to train again, because I couldn't see myself doing it for a couple more months or even a year. And contrasting it with calisthenics, like doing push-ups or like body weight work, I can imagine myself doing that for years. That I can stick with, that I can see a long-term vision with. But with boxing, I thought it was just a temporary season. And I realized also is people are going to beat me if they desire boxing more than me. And then not being a wuss, like I understand with boxing, you're gonna get hit. That's what my coach said. It's not called boxing for nothing. You're going to get hit. But I realized, again, I need to stop saying. I realized I will get beaten by someone who trained harder because they wanted it more than me. So I'd rather not play that game or not play the sport at all, because I know that's gonna happen. Which leads me on to my second point regarding long-term vision. I actually miss calisthenics. Like I did my first couple of push-ups in a long time. Like I did push-ups during my workout when I was like boxing, like only twice a week. Well, actually once every 2 days, but then weight work, like I don't know the actual exercise name, but you have like a dumbbell and you like do that. I can't remember. Like it would be 12.5k weights and I'd do 20 on each arm. I actually miss calisthenics. I think because I miss sort of the pain. Like with boxing, it was more like the pain now during that training session. Like eventually after a while, like my legs started to get used to the feeling of pain. Like I see the distinguishable thing in boxing is sometimes in a run, it's actually your breathing that hurts, but sometimes in a run, it's actually your legs that hurt and your breathing isn't, which I find is a quite interesting nuance, because I feel like when your legs are hurting, you can actually finish the run. Actually, I finished every run that I was on except for the very, very first one. But with breathing, you feel like you're gonna not die, but like you're not gonna die, but it's quite uncomfortable having to like breathe, because you're hyperventilating as well, because the blood has to try and get itself across the whole body, and the lungs are just like working overdrive trying to get as much oxygen in. But with legs, it's like, oh, my legs are in pain, but I can still breathe deeply. So, and with calisthenics, I probably will still integrate cardio, probably with more like walking, but like jogging. Like do I like cardio? It's sort of like yes, no. Like I see it more as it's probably something I need to do to be more well-rounded with my fitness and health. So with calisthenics, the thing I like about it is I felt more with calisthenics and bodybuilding. It's in the name, bodybuilding. Like with boxing, I did see a noticeable difference in my physique, but having done push-ups, like these push-ups are like you're targeting your chest area. I can actually feel the chest pump. And then I've been studying a little bit of bodybuilding. Like the most attractive parts of the body are like the shoulders, the chest, the back, having almost like a tapered shape. And then with boxing, I felt like the outcome of boxing is to fight. The outcome of calisthenics and probably bodybuilding is actually, again, in the name, bodybuilding, creating the sculptor, you're creating your sculpture. But with boxing, the outcome was fighting and winning. And for myself, I also think of this concept of infinite games by Simon Sinek, that the best games are the infinite, where you only lose by giving up. Like, for example, you don't win at going to the gym, you just stay healthy. Like, there is no black or white of win or loss, because you only lose if you just don't play the game at all. So I'm going to be back because currently it's like Sunday. So tomorrow it's going to be push, Tuesday pull. So I'm going to go like to the park and get like like a bar because I want to do pull-ups as well. So that's part of the pull day. Then Wednesday's leg day. Then do that again, push, pull, legs, and then rest on Sunday. And I miss that. I kind of miss that regiment and calisthenics because I've never really identified with the bodybuilding, like going to the gym aspect. Because I feel like your body is all that you need, body and gravity. Like my father, like when he was when he was like a golf professional at Bintan Lagoon, like it's like a little island off. It was a resort in the island off of Singapore. I think his mentor told him all you need is your body weight and gravity. And I agree the same. Like if you look at the Greeks, they didn't really have any weights. They had their own body weight and they have sculptures, like marble sculptures of like these ripped ass guys. Like that's sort of what I strive for. But again, back to like essentialism, also desire, like Naval says, also in Buddhism, you want to try and choose one desire. Now for myself, that desire for me is finances. Like I want to be in a better position in terms of my finance, because with desire it creates the situation of suffering, because you've created a contract that you will suffer or you'll be unhappy until you achieve or get what you desire. And with fitness, it's not a desire that how do I word this? It is a desire that I have a physique, but I'm happy to satisfy the desire that I train every day, working towards my physique rather than the result itself. It's the process, not the outcome that I desire. But with finances, it sort of is both the outcome and the process. So I don't want to create any more suffering with boxing, because if that desire of actually I don't want to fight, actually I don't want to win or fight, then what's the point of doing this process? Because of course, most people say focus on the systems, focus on the process, but it's inevitably for the outcome. So if you don't put somewhat of a even subtle, not emphasis, but acknowledgement of the outcome, then there's no real point. But again, in infinite games like business, relationships, fitness, the point is to play. And with fitness, I'll play that infinite game of just keeping on training with the calisthenics. But ultimately it will give me the outcome that I want, which is like an aesthetic body. I think that... Was it time? Okay, no, I'm reading like the notes over there. I think that's time. Yeah, time. And also, actually no, yeah, it actually is time, because with boxing training, it would happen from 5 to 6. So, and I'm currently enlisted in a program that's about to start, I think, not tomorrow, start next week. We're basically from 6 till 8. We're on like these classes where we're learning how to do tech sales. So, trying to do boxing from 5 to 6, that is not doable. And also, I want to do my workouts in the morning now, rather than late in the afternoons, because it's sort of like putting it off, and I'd rather get it over and done with. Actually, I might try and experiment with that, because I did make a video of like wake up, go straight to work. Like I try and keep my morning routine as minimal as possible. Like I'll do my flashcards, meditate, and then probably go straight to work. Get straight to work with like writing, reading, educating myself. Sort of like the bottleneck for me is the job. Well, not having a job is the job that I desire. I don't have it yet, but I'm working with the process. But all in all, like that was a bit of a sidetrack. All in all, I quit boxing because I simply didn't desire the outcome enough, or desire the process enough, because I knew how much work and training I'll have to do in order to be able to fight in the ring. And I just thought it wasn't worth it for what I want. Because what I want is wealth, actually. Like that's not wealth and health. And I believe if I if I target those areas, health, wealth, and make it like my essential few that I focus on, rather than try and fight or win matches or bouts, I'll probably have a more satisfying life than rather having to, well, drag my ass to the gym. Because again, like I say, drag your ass to the gym if you desire having a physique. Because I believe if that desire is strong enough, there is a way. Like if there's a will, there's a way. You just simply have to do the work, like be disciplined. I'm not denying that. But I'm going to choose to be more disciplined with pursuing wealth rather than fighting, because that's a struggle, or that's pain and suffering I'm willing to choose. Like, we all can choose our suffering, whether it's in work, in relationships, or in life in general. So take out one suffering, that is boxing and doing cardio, and add it with another suffering of doing calisthenics. Because I know with calisthenics, short term pain, long term a built physique, better health, clearer mind, discipline. But with boxing, I lost that desire. I really had that desire at the very start of my training, but I know there's going to be times where you're going to lose motivation, but I think motivation and desire are not the same thing, because motivation is how... Desire is wanting it, then motivation, I believe, is just temporary bursts of energy. Actually, I'll probably have to look more into the definition of motivation, but more in the sense of, don't rely on motivation, rely on discipline, but if the desire is strong enough, the discipline will help in achieving that desire. So I'd cut out that lack of desire and added it with calisthenics. So I'm still in fitness, I'm still gonna train, I'm gonna still probably hopefully I'm gonna experiment this with cardio, like maybe once a week or once every morning, even like a light jog just to start the day, but I'll experiment. Because again, I've heard from Alex Hormozi that you don't want to be bogged down in a morning routine either, because if that's a crutch, that's also a competitive advantage for your competitors. Because if you don't have that morning routine messed up by like some schedule, something out of your control, you don't want to be that guy who says my day is ruined because I don't have my morning routine. So this is sort of my thought process about why I have quit boxing.